It all started on what I thought was just another Tuesday morning. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic, just me trying to sneak in a workout before heading to work. I pulled into the community fitness center, that kind of half-empty lot where you can still pick your spot without circling around like a vulture. And then I saw it. The perfect parking space. It was tucked right under a huge maple tree, close enough to the front door that I wouldn't have to march across the blacktop. In the summer heat, shaded enough that I wouldn't come back to a car hot enough to fry eggs on the dashboard. It felt like winning the lottery of parking spots. So, naturally, I slid right in, grabbed my gym bag, locked up, and started heading toward the entrance with a little bounce in my step. I hadn't even made it 5 strides before I heard this voice. Sharp, clear, the kind of voice that makes you instinctively turn your head because you know it's aimed directly at you. Standing there was a woman, maybe mid to late 50s, hair sprayed stiff, slacks so crisp they looked like they could cut paper, and around her neck a pearl necklace that didn't move when she did. Tucked under her arm was a clipboard, and I swear it was like looking at someone who had been born holding one. She gave me a slow up and down like TSA with an attitude. "Just so you know," she said, "that's my spot." I blinked. "Oh. Is it reserved?" Her lips curved into this tight smile, the kind that isn't really a smile at all. "Not officially, but I've been parking there for over 15 years. Everyone knows it's mine, and as the neighborhood association president, I'd appreciate your respect." Now I looked around. This was a half-empty row with 10 identical spots wide open, none marked, none reserved. She was literally trying to claim a slice of asphalt by seniority. I gave her a polite nod. The kind you give when you're not about to argue, but you're also not promising anything either. "Right," I said. "I'll keep that in mind." And I kept walking. But the thing about people like her, they don't. Like when you don't play their game. Over the next few days, I parked there again and again, because why wouldn't I? It was open, it was convenient, and I don't believe in made-up rules. Every single time she found a way to be there, either standing near the entrance like a gargoyle or making a point to stop me with some passive-aggressive remark. By day 4, she dropped the polite act altogether. "You're new here," she said, stepping right into my path. "So let me make it simple. That spot is mine. Keep parking there, and you'll regret it." I raised an eyebrow. "Is that a rule or just a threat?" Her smile didn't touch her eyes. "Call it advice." I couldn't help but laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. I don't usually take advice from people who guard parking spots they don't even use. And I walked past her, leaving her fuming in the sunlight. A few days later, the absurdity went up a notch. Someone had taped a laminated sign right to the pavement in front of the golden spot. It read, in bold block letters, "Reserved for HOA, President only." It looked like it had been printed on an old home printer running out of ink, laminated crookedly, and duct taped down by someone who thought authority came with office supplies. I laughed out loud. Tore no tape, just parked, right over it. That day inside the gym, she waited for me like she was auditioning for a soap opera villain. "You didn't see the sign?" she asked. "Oh, I saw it," I said, scanning my key card. "I also saw the public parking guidelines on the HOA website. Guess which one I'm following?" Her jaw tightened. "You think this is funny?" "Karen," I wanted to say, but her name wasn't Karen, it was Denise. But she had the energy of every Karen meme combined. So I said, "You don't even have a car right now. Yours is still in the shop." That made her nostrils flare like a bull about to charge. "It's coming back next week, and when it does, I expect that spot to be open." The sign kept reappearing, even after wind or sprinklers knocked it loose. Then one morning I found a bright yellow slip under my wiper. A violation notice. According to her, I was disrespecting HOA property. Here's the kicker. The HOA doesn't own those spaces. They're public access for gym members. She was literally fabricating rules out of thin air, waving them around like gospel. By now, neighbors had started whispering. A guy on the treadmill leaned over and told me, "Careful. She's been president forever. Loves her little power trips." By Friday, she dropped all pretense. As I was leaving the gym, she stood directly in front of my car, arms folded like a bouncer at a nightclub. "You're going to regret this," she said loudly, making sure a couple of bystanders could hear. "You're making enemies you can't afford to have." I tossed my gym bag into the trunk, gave her a calm smile, and said, "See you tomorrow, Denise." If looks could kill, I'd have been toast. The next morning, Saturday, the lot was half empty. I slid into my favorite spot like always, enjoying the peace. Oddly, she wasn't lurking around. I figured maybe she finally let it go. But 40 minutes later, the shrill blare of my car alarm ripped through the gym, and my stomach sank. I sprinted outside and froze. There she was, mid-swing with a baseball bat, smashing the last intact window on my car. Glass exploded onto the asphalt. A jagged scratch stretched down the driver's side like a scar, and across the door in bright red. Spray paint was one ugly word: mine. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted. She spun around, cheeks flushed, breathing hard, eyes wild. "You provoked me. You stole my spot for weeks. I told you this would happen." The bat was still in her hand, but her eyes darted toward the gym entrance where 3 people stood, phones in hand, recording. And above her, mounted to the wall, the security camera blinked, aimed right at us. I didn't even need to argue. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and held it steady. "Go ahead," she barked, though her voice cracked. "Show everyone how you've been harassing me." But her hands were trembling, and the bat clattered to the ground like even she realized. She had gone way too far. The gym manager rushed out, eyes wide. "Oh my God, Denise, what did you do?" Her response? She turned and started to walk away like she hadn't just vandalized thousands of dollars of property in broad daylight. "Don't you dare leave," I called after her. "The police are on their way." She froze. The manager confirmed he'd already called them. One of the witnesses chimed in. "We saw the whole thing. She went straight for his car." For the first time since I'd met her, she didn't have a comeback. She stood there pale, staring at the ground, looking smaller by the second. And then came the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. Sirens, drawing closer. The officers pulled up, and I handed them my phone, video still rolling. I pointed to the gym's security cameras. The manager vouched it all was recorded. One officer walked up to Denise, who was stiff as stone by the curb. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for vandalism and destruction of property," she barked. "This is outrageous. He's been harassing me for weeks." The officer raised an eyebrow. "By parking in a public spot?" That shut her down. She was cuffed, walked past a Saturday morning crowd of gym-goers who whispered and stared, stuffed, into the back of a cruiser. I can't describe the satisfaction of seeing someone who had lorded over the neighborhood like a tyrant now reduced to silence and handcuffs. That afternoon, I filed the insurance claim. Between the smashed glass, keyed panels, and spray paint, repairs came to over $6,500. My insurance company didn't hesitate. The video made liability crystal clear. They paid me, then went after her for reimbursement. 2 weeks later, my lawyer sent her a demand letter for rental car costs and legal fees. She tried to fight it, but she didn't stand a chance. By the end of the month, she wrote a check for nearly $8,000. The HOA? They couldn't sweep this one under the rug. An arrest for vandalism by the president on HOA property, with half the community watching? It was a scandal. In an emergency meeting, they voted her out. She lost her presidency, her gym access, and whatever shreds of respect she had left. Now, she parks 3 streets over, hauling groceries past the very spot she once guarded like a throne. And me? I still park there every single time I go to the gym. The best part came the first day I rolled back in with my freshly repaired car, paint, gleaming, glass spotless. I eased into that golden spot, stepped out slowly with sunglasses on and coffee in hand. And there she was, walking by. I gave her a friendly wave. She looked away, face burning, and kept walking. Some victories smell like roses. This one smelled like new paint, fresh glass, and justice served ice cold. So, what do you think? Did she get what she deserved, or do you think it went too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I guarantee half the neighborhood would argue one way and half the other. And if you've ever dealt with a power-hungry neighbor or a nightmare HOA, I'd love to hear your story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Because sometimes the best revenge is simply telling the tale.